Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. I see, it's like a saying that Friday afternoon, it always feels like heaven. Right, I know all these participants who are out here, 65 of them, I'm looking at it, which is like a good number, that they're looking at, that how one should look at ending it. So I can promise you that all this COVID and all of this that you have been hearing, it will be a interesting session, that what I'm going to share with you, and it will bring a smile in your face, that how at times the pandemic can do really good to some of the things that we think of. Okay, so with that, what I'm going to share with you is my presentation. Okay, so here is it. I've done a little twist, in the presentation that everyone has been hearing in terms of e-commerce and all. I said, let me just make it as COVID-19 and how this has changed in terms of giving a boost of digitization to the auto industry. So with that, just a second. Okay, so this is going to be, I just put it in a little structured way of having an agenda per se, that, and I would like to take you through how pre-COVID scenario was for a digitization, per se, and what has been the impact of digitization in the COVID era, and how the touch points have kind of evolved, and what is the customer expectation at an overall level. Okay, so now, something which is very interesting. I always like to go back in history, and I did a very good research on how things moved, and I've tried to put it in a very interesting, in a bubble format. Now what you're going to see is that how internet boom happened, and how auto evolved. So what you see out here is, I've taken from 2000. Now the interesting part of this whole chart, what you will see through, is that while internet penetration was increasing, okay, while the numbers was increasing, the auto in itself, from an OEM standpoints, they were not evolving themselves in an auto world. Okay, they were not evolving themselves. Now if you can see, from 2000 to 2015, they were still in that microsite zone, display advertising, lead management system. And then in 2012 and 2015 is when only one manufacturer came forth and said, okay, we need to do something about online booking. And that was Tata Motors, that they tried to do some bit of work with Nano, and Nano being the very famous brand that we have in India. But largely, the adoption of digital in India from an auto sector has always been a laggard. While you all heard very clearly from an insurance, from an e-commerce perspective, from other FMCG brands and all of that put together, they all evolved. But auto, being a very traditional mindset and a manufacturing setup, they never evolved themselves in terms of latching on to these numbers that we are seeing, from 22 to 137 to 317. And then in between 2016 to 2019, and especially in 2019, you see a barrage of information started coming in, with the new players coming from MG and Kia. And that's where you see, with 480 million people, things got evolved in the sense of real time 3D configurators started coming in, the platform type websites came in, and online booking also started being talked about in the space. And this was also reflected by a study by Frost and Sullivan, when we did a comparison with North America, Europe, China, and all of that put together. So India was still at a laggard stage, where they were just looking at doing some bit of booking, or with that too online booking, and that too only for initial pre-launch set, not just about after the launch of the car, but just taking that initial amount of 5,000 to 50,000, depending upon the value of the car that took place. Then what happens is that COVID comes in, and then COVID completely changes the whole game, right? And that's where you see all of them starts coming in and started talking about. It was a knee jerk situation, but what it was is an important thing. Many a time a pandemic comes and it takes away things completely out of the shelf. And that's what, we always consider pandemic to being a gloomy kind of thing. But what it did out here for an auto sector in India is like almost overnight, there was an awakening that, hey, the dealerships which are there is shut. Hey, we still have to be in the business. Hey, what do we do? And all of a sudden, started talking about being online. And that is where, the change happened. And for, someone who has been a digital marketer like me for, around 19 years, and that too, around spending 7 years in the auto, this was like something a day that, I have been personally looking for, that when digital, will not just be about just, doing some bit of marketing, and but it will add value to the business. And this is when I said to myself that the moment has arrived. And this is a very, very good start, that almost the whole ecosystem has come together to talk about it. Now, and in continuation to this, I'm sure you would have seen many communication that got floated by various companies, right? I mean, and they had their own sets of communication that they did. Some said, buy it from home. Some said, dial a Ford. Some said, Renault at online NX. And the idea was that at times the industry, if it moves, it has to move together. And the competition is always healthy when the industry moves together, and that's what brings in a change. And this is what, we saw together, and we are seeing it together as we speak at an industry level now. If we see, what it brought is a very different way of looking at things. And again, I'm taking a Frost and Sullivan, which is very, very relevant at this point in time, that what's going to be the future, right? How the pandemic, how the COVID, how the digitization, how the technology is going to change all of that put together. Now, and you can see this, that the biggest change that is going to come in is that it is going to evolve in terms of the new retail formats. So what does this mean is that, the asset or the property value is increasing, and it is increasing like how. And the OEMs, they have realized that if they have to sustain the business, and you just heard, Ramesh from Top Gear talking about the sentiment and all of that put together, it is important that you evolve. Evolution is the only constant, and that is where, the new retail formats will come in. The second is that you will have to give a choice to the customer to buy the car from home. So which means technically from an OEM standpoint, you need to sell the car, for a user who is sitting at home, and providing him or her the full stack of services that you can think of from doing it. And similarly, in connection to that, it has to be a connected one. It has to be connected. No more will be a scenario where, you have put in a lead, as an example as that, and you go to the dealer, and dealer is scratching his head and he says, oh, we don't know anything about that. It can't be possible now. And also, yesterday we saw with platforms coming in like Salesforce and all, and it is all connected. Connected is the thing that is going to kind of take place. And along with this, the services will also improve, right? The finance deals that will take place, so integration will also happen. The banks will also start giving loans. And if you today you go and buy home loans, that everything can be done over a home. You just have to go to the bank and just do the sign off. And that's how it is going to be for auto as well. And more importantly, subscription. And I think you would have seen some of the players have started coming in from a subscription standpoint. And last but not the least, the most important is the digital metrics will evolve. We will move away from just being impressions, click through rates, and all of that is a passe right now. What is important is how you help the business. And this is something which I am in person very, very happy about, because till the time the medium of digital, they're not able to contribute to the business, it will always be like a vanity. It will always be like you are there and you are just doing some kind of a promotion, you're bringing them to the traffic and you're putting in some numbers of XYZ, and today getting the numbers is not a big thing, huh? Because 450 million whatever internet users, every big publishers and every big platforms, they have 100 million plus users, and you can easily get that. But what is important for auto is that ultimately what is it that I'm contributing to, yeah, right? And that is something which is like very, very key. And it is glad to know that this has been shared in the Frost and Sullivan. The other thing is that the percentage of consumers who would prefer to avoid dealership visits, if you see the India graph, there are 70% of them, they are saying they would like to close everything from home itself. There is a sea change in the way today the consumers are looking at auto, because today, with thanks to the technology, you will find that there is real time 3D configurators that have come in, where you can still topple around and or put all of that. And even if you get 80% convinced, the test drive will happen at home. So you can just give a call, or you will may just put in a lead, and the information will start flowing in out there. And not only that, there is a very recent Car Dekho survey that took place, and you can clearly see how many percentage of people are ready to buy a car online. And because of safety reasons, because of sanitization and all of that, kind of put together, around from 10 to 21%. And that number is huge. That delta is huge, considering the number of cars that's getting sold. Every 1% increase has a huge impact, and this is like 11% increase that is taking place, which in itself is kind of a big number. So by now you are seeing that pandemic is what change that it is bringing in. It's bringing a sea change in terms of the way the consumer behaves. It's key change in the needs of the consumers, and that's why it is very important for an OEM to evolve. And this is just to recap and bring it back to close loop the whole story, that car makers are going to bank on digital sales. And it has to, and it has to. So and digital will become a much more closer metric, and it will go to the extent of being seen that what is the cost that I am incurring for getting as basic as one lead from an XYZ platform. And that is where the technology will kind of play a kind of a very, very big role. Now, moving on, how the touch points have grown. Now, this is a chart which you may or may not be familiar with. That in when a consumer is looking at buying an auto for themselves, at a personal segment, there are 21 out of 26 are in digital. This was as of 2016 data, right? And it has a good split in terms of awareness, discover, interact, and transact. And most of it has got evolved from a search to going to a social page, to going to a dealer website, to model page. Now here's the thing, the change that comes in. Now this is the change that you need to grasp, and I will give you a second to go through this, and you will realize that what change is bringing in. The touch points are increasing. Imagine that from 2016, in 4 years time, from where to where we have gone. We have come to a 30 out of 35 touch points are digital. And not only that, the way they consume the data has kind of have completely changed. Today dealer websites have become very important. Today Google is investing so much in everything that they're doing. The calculators have come in. It is no more a website you can make, and I'm saying as an asset, where you just give a vanilla product, right? A website which has just a little information kind of per se, but it has to be much, much more transversal. It has to ensure that the need of the consumer is getting fulfilled, and not only by going to the dealership, but also at home. And then the last one which is there is, what is the customer expectation? The expectation is very clear. And you just heard also that, there was a time pre-COVID, uh, everyone was talking that today's millennial netizens are there, they're looking at Ubers and Ola of the worlds, which is there. That will still exist. That is not going to go anywhere. But there is a realization that I need my own car. For me, my safety is very important. For me, the health of me, my family members are very, very, very important. And for that, I am happy to go for a smaller car itself, but still, I need to do that. Because, things, what the way it is and the way things are, things still, even if it, hopefully, and we are optimistic that we'll find some vaccine and we will get over with it, but it will take some time, and it is not being like months and all I'm talking about, but still it will stay for a year or so, and people will get very, very cautious. So that's a new way of living, that's a new way of working, there is new way of thinking through, a mindset change that has kind of taken a place. And this is going to be a very marked difference that is going to take place. And at an OEM level, the expectations are going to be very, very different, and this is where all the OEMs are gone back to the drawing board and they're thinking through. Now I'll go from the third to the first, because that is something which is very important about digital sales. And you can see very clearly from the chart in itself, that the online sales will become a key parameter, and everyone is involving. And I can tell you for a fact that every OEM today, they're sitting at the boardroom and they're seeing that how do we encash those sales, how do we become Amazon of auto, how do we become Flipkart of auto, or whatever XYZ big numbers of are there, or big players are going to be there. Everyone is trying to do that, and of course this cannot be done alone. OEMs, the best that can be done is by creating a great consumer journey, right? By ensuring that all the touch points are technologically evolved. Also, when it goes to the marketing, going to the right channel for reach out, and from a media perspective, going to those channel where the consumers are, and that programmatic and all of that put together has brought in those kind of change. But largely what is important is that consumer way of imagining and thinking will also see a change, and their requirement will also see a change. And that's where I come to the point number 2, which is in the middle, which is about flexible contracts. The contract will also see a change, where they will look at subscription, they'll look at some kind of a flexible payment options, because everyone wants to save, everyone wants to keep the cash, everyone wants that flexibility into the system, and everyone wants to be sensitive to. And that's where the humanity is taking a different turn, where everyone is trying to support each other in this whole scheme of thing. And the first point which is going to be there is the special offers, right? A targeted measures, targeting will change. There will a new customer user group will come in, and also you are seeing additional products will come in, and also incentives will change. The car has to be given in a very quick format, all of that put together. So all in all, if I have to close loop everything put together, my point is, number one, pandemic has done good, right? And it is always good to end on a good note, I must say that. While however things maybe looks gloomy, we should not lose the optimism that we have, and the optimism is clearly seen with the data that I have just shown. So it's a bright future for auto, while we are in the shake up phase. And I can tell you the bounce back will happen, and the bounce back will not happen because of OEM, but because of the consumer, because of you, because of the the people who are out there, of the Indians, a billion population. They will see a new you, and they would everyone wants to pep up themselves, and this gloomy days is not going to be there. After darkness comes the light, and that's what is going to be there. Point number 1. The point number 2 is going to be that all the OEMs will evolve. They have already started evolving, and you are going to see in the coming future the evolution of OEMs will be much, much more for the new players who are coming in the market, and you're going to see some path breaking stuff that will come in, which will all ease out the buying journey of the consumers, which are going to take place. And the third is the technology. And thanks to the technology front, there are many tools that are available, flyby, which is you can directly plug and play kind of a model that kind of take place. And last but not least, I think the media front, the internet population, the 400 million internet population slash the programmatic way of working through. You will go after the audience. You will not go after the channels where you want to be. You would just like to go where are the auto intenders for for this and this kind of a persona out there. And that could be various channels. I'm not here to talk about any specific channels, but largely these are the the four things that's going to kind of take place. And I thought I will just give you a good end note on a happy note. As I said that Friday afternoon slash evenings, they always feels heaven. And I'm sure with this you are going to feel a smile, and you will see that yes, things looks good. So on that note, I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashish. I think that was a wonderful presentation. And yes, it just left me with a smile to see that what the auto industry is doing. So lots more, lots more for us to collaborate with them and to collaborate with you. There is one question that I see, and they're asking, should auto, Ashish, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm very much there. I just switched off
Okay.
my.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I see a question. They say, should auto brands, because we started the conversation today talking about D2C brands, and there is a question that should auto brands go D2C because dealer digitization is somehow kind of not seeming very great. There is a reputation problem there. So should auto manufacturers go D2C?
Uh, See, uh, can they do it? Why not? I mean, if they have the bandwidth, if they have the power or the scale to do it, they can. However, in all practicality, I must say that, see, dealers are also today are looking at a huge change. And there is a data which unfortunately I haven't brought in. So there was a very recent conference that took place by FADA. And it is a music to my ears, and it was pleasure to see that slide where dealers themselves have found a realization. We need to understand one thing very clearly, that this system of auto cannot be just OEM system. It has to be dealer also. And dealer also has realized. The reason being is that there are, see, dealer have been managed by first generation, second generation, third generation. Now is the time when the second and third generation, they have started coming in, right? And they are very digitally evolved, but they were also waiting for the time. And let me tell you, there are many out there, and I have met many dealerships. They are very, very evolved. They're very evolved, and they are doing some really fabulous stuff. And I don't know, Google was here, and from an auto, Mr. Bhaskar was there. They will say, and Google themselves will talk about it, that how the change is happening. It's a matter of time. So to whoever asked this question, is a very pertinent questions, and it's a very good question that is asked. But if I may say, that is not the right way to go direct, because you have to take people along with it. The ecosystem has to move together. You have to groom. An OEM has to groom the dealer. Dealer has to embrace digital. Digital has to make simplify the things for dealerships, and all of this will happen. And if you see through the the news and all of that put together, things will definitely change. It's just a matter of time, I'm telling you. You wait for another 6 to 1 year, months and years time. Next time whenever we are here in this iMedia, I would love to come back and show that how the change has come in. And mark my words, it will change. So I hope that answers, Shiny.
Yes, fantastic. And I love that, that piece of future gazing, because next year at iMedia, I am definitely going to ask you this question. There is one more question if we have time. It says, do you think Indian consumers will adopt electronic vehicles? Is this a near possibility? I
Oh,
could, if that counts.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. The things are changing, things are evolving, right? And we are looking out for the new things, and infrastructure and all of that put together. Things will happen. Can it happen overnight? See, overnight these things are like a big investments that take place, and this is very personal. This is, I'm not speaking on behalf of the company per se. So I want to be very clear when I'm saying this, because I'm not an expert in responding to that question. But personally, as Shiny mentioned, the way she raised her hand, I would also like to raise a hand that why not? And this is the thing which is going to take place. And of course, we will brick by brick, things will happen, and you will see a change that is going to take place.